You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
you got
okay,
that
so
river Nile flowing through my veins, homie. I want to keep it fair. You know what I mean? You've been living in Harlem, eating all that chitlins and soul food.
But I've been running for the police. I've been running for the police for 50 years, B.
You've been running from the police, but I've been running after hyenas. I'm trying to get my dinner, son. You know, it's a different type of sprinting. You know what I mean? It's a different type of sprinting.
You right about that.
But anyways, yo, we'll do that. Let's train for it. Let's put a date on it because I want it to be fair. And I know you turning 50, so I want to make sure my young OG, my young triple OG can come through and, you know what I mean?
And not die.
Work. Because listen, I played basketball with this guy for 10 minutes and I almost had to call the ambulance. I thought he had asthma. I'm sitting there holding my I think I even asked him, like, bro, you want to use my puffer? The way he was laying on the floor, man, he was winded.
Yo. It was like we had played basketball for 11 hours.
We gotta come out. Yo, listen, man. This is why I can't invite you to come play ball for 2-3 hours with me, B.
You cannot. These young cats were like they were bigger than us. They weren't even fast. That's the crazy shit.
They were Steph Currying us the whole time.
They were Steph Curry. Yes.
Boom, threes. I was like, what? I'm like, none of these dudes drive. None of these guys do none of that. Like, what? I'm putting on my defense. Yo, I'm just standing there jumping.
You stepping back, right?
Yeah.
Because in street ball,
splashing.
Everything is to the hole.
Exactly.
Everything.
Exactly.
So the reason why I was tired is because I spent the first half hour jumping out at threes.
Yeah, this dude tried to get rebounds. He tried to do, honestly, I give you A for effort because this guy came in that first 5 minutes, he had so much juice. He was just like jumping for rebounds, just, oh my gosh. And then after that, I looked at him and he just had that look of death. He's just like, bruh. All that energy I came was gone in these first 3 minutes.
There was not enough, what it sounds like? It sounds like some cats in the bedroom that don't put in that work. 3 minutes.
Oh, you got to prepare, man. Do some push-ups.
Shout out to Missy. A lot of 1 minute mans out there. I don't even know what the fuck we doing.
Let's get in
this
there,
isn't
man.
The show, right?
Black Fathers Matter. We up in here, man.
This is the show?
Yo, what's up? This is Black Fathers Matter, episode 14. It's your boy Roy right here, man. I got Ralph. What's poppin', Ralph? How you doing, bro? What you got on your mind, homie?
Yo, man. Yo.
You look troubled, son.
You know what, man? Do you like hockey?
I ain't gonna lie. I've tried watching it, but you usually end up on watching the NBA.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. If I said to you, how many black NHL players there are?
Oh, in the whole league?
In the whole league. Give me a number.
Oh, okay. No, I know there's black. A lot of there's. I would say, I want to say anywhere from like 40 to 50.
Okay.
Because we got a bunch of them. I've seen them.
You giving them too much credit. But okay. There are 24, 25 black players in the league, right? So the NHL came back this week.
Right.
And they did a nice little ceremony welcoming people back.
Right.
But one, there was no mention of Black Lives Matter. Two, no one, including those 24 players that I just mentioned, took a knee. Now, taking a knee is not like, yo, everybody needs to take a knee or we not rocking with you. I'm not going to say that.
Right.
But, we sometimes, what's happening in the world right now is that companies, brands are all faced with this choice. Mm-hmm. Do I say I rock with Black Lives Matter, the movement? Do I rock with Black Lives Matter, the organization?
Right.
Or do I do what we have always done, which is to kumbaya, let's do unity, let's everybody come together and hold hands and have orange slices and all of that. And all of that don't mean shit.
That don't mean nothing.
People are not dying in the streets because of unity, because of equality, or because of any of that. People are dying in the streets because of a lack of justice.
Right.
The NHL wouldn't be doing that at all if it wasn't for the death of George Floyd, or because of the protests of Black Lives Matter. Now, do I agree with everything Black Lives Matter believes? I do not.
No, I don't either.
I don't.
There's a lot of things I don't believe.
But I'm not stupid enough to think that the Black Lives Matter movement hasn't forced these companies and these organizations and these to look at themselves and do better.
Of course.
So, we've got a couple of lists of the Black Fathers Matter, right? We got the Jalen Rose No Slander list. We got the We See You list, and we got I'm starting a new list.
What's that?
It's called the Sunken List.
Oh, the Sunken List. Yeah,
this is kind of connects back.
This before though?
No,
you make it official.
I'm making it official. Gotcha. So we did the return to the sunken place, which means come back to us. Those 24 NHL players, y'all all on the sunken list.
That's what I was thinking when you were saying that. I was like, it's either they don't care or they all in the sunken place. You know what I mean? Or why wouldn't they stand up and say something though? Because you know what? Every email I get during the last 6 months, it could be from the gyms. It could be even I turn on my PlayStation. I go play GTA. There's a little write-up. We support Black Lives Matter. I go play 2K. Same thing. Everywhere you go, every company, Walmart sending me emails, YMCA sending me emails. So it's like, NFL. And if you got 24 black people playing, what is going on, bro?
I you know what? To not have one person kneel and pay homage tells me that the NHL said, and you know what? We're going to find out. I bet you they said so. The NHL sent a letter or said some shit that was like, listen, we going to do this little ceremony.
Right.
And it's all love. But if one of you motherfuckers kneel, we blackballing your ass. It has to have been all of that. Because I could have been like, yeah, I ain't kneeling. I'm not gonna kneel. You on TV, B. You could do whatever the fuck you want. And so what's happening is after, you know what happened was crazy about this? Fans of hockey started kneeling on Twitter.
Good.
And on Instagram and saying, look, they didn't kneel, so I'm gonna kneel. Players on their personal page said, we didn't kneel during the thing, so on my personal page, I'm going to kneel to show my support.
How you going to go in public, How you going to go in public and not do something you want to do in your personal?
Exactly.
Rocking with that. If you're going to go out there and do something in public, whether it's stupid, you come back out in public and you address it.
Exactly. And social media is not public. National television is public. If you cared so much and you wanted to make such a statement, you make it when the block is hot. Everybody got Twitter fingers. Everybody can send a little message and blast that out and have and feel good about themselves. But if you want to use and I respect and appreciate that people want to use their personal platforms for change. I totally get it. But change happens from the inside and the outside. These NHL players are on the inside.
That's right.
They already in the if those
they have a responsibility, dude. They have a responsibility, especially the black ones. They have a responsibility to the culture. Or they may feel like they don't have a responsibility because they're playing hockey. But come on, man, you skin black though. You know what I mean?
You know how you think you don't have that responsibility?
I have that responsibility with a little tiny platform I got. You know what I mean? To my people, to my culture.
And that's what's so great about Black is King. Because Beyonce, you see what I did there, right?
Yeah, I see what I did there,
right? Because
flip side, switching it up.
Because Beyonce is saying in that, look, I could make some cute poppy music now. I could do the Taylor Swift thing. I could be Gaga. Beyonce could be the biggest star in the world right now if she just made some like cute poppy Destiny's Child type music. And she's like, nah, I ain't doing that. I'm using my platform to rise my people. So to those NHL cats, you had a chance to use your platform to rise the people. Shame on you. I'm a little hot about that.
You're heated right now, son. But I thought Beyonce helped dry them tears, though, G.
You know what, man? You know what? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. One of the crazy things about being black during this time is that white people don't quite get is how exhausting it is to make white people feel better about the shit, the oppression that they put on us.
It's like a guilt trip.
I got to appease your shit.
It's like this.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
It's like, they guilty about whatever. And it's like, it's up to us to make them feel comfortable to live in that guilt.
Yes.
And I can't do that no more.
Why can't
I'm not saying all of them, man. There's a lot of white dudes I rock with, a lot of white people that, they got, they're good people out there. But I'm talking about the ones who have that guilt because they know in their heart that that's how they feel about it. I'm gonna go one step further. I'm talking about the good white people. Okay.
The bad white people, they can go fuck themselves. They don't care about us anyway, so I'm not gonna care about them. But even in the good white people, even in the people that feel like they doing the right thing and they want to say the right things, I'm still having to explain to them about shit that they say that they think is chill and it's sideways.
Yeah.
So because in their hearts, they're like, yo, it's like what they said about LeBron. Yo, just shut up and dribble. Yeah, okay, Black Lives Matter. We get it. But do you have to be so loud? Yeah, we get it. Like, black people are dying, but you have to protest this much. Okay, we get it. Man. We get it. Your mortality rate is low. You pay black taxes in health and in education and in income. But you know what?
We get it. You're driving while black, but did you have to wear a do-rag? Did you have to wear your hat backwards?
Yeah, you like saying you like saying the N-word because you think that's you changing the structure of it. Can you not say that because it makes me uncomfortable?
All right.
Right?
We're gonna shut all that down, bro. We shutting all that down because we don't live in a world where we trying to just appease them. We're not here trying to make them comfortable. We trying to live in unity. So if we trying to do that, then they should be going the same length to make us feel comfortable.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Instead of making us feel uncomfortable.
And you know how you could do that very simply? Don't kill us in the street like dogs. That'd be nice. That's a good start. Did you hear about in Jamaica, they passed, it was a court decision that said that they can ban a kid with dreadlocks from going to school?
Yes, and because there's a lot of, here's the thing, man. Jamaica is dope, and I enjoy being there, but there's a lot of the rules and the laws were enforced by white people. So this is why they're going to say that, right? Because back in the day, I remember like even some of my boys, they would tell you when they were back in Jamaica, man, you had to have a shaved head, number one. Shaved head, you go to school, you're wearing shirts tucked in, you know what I mean? They're trying to mimic the British system of education. That's all it is. So the dreadlocks and all these things, this stuff even happens in Africa, South Africa. There's schools that you have to look like that. You can't even be proud of your heritage. You can't be proud of your hair. And dreadlocks is not just a fashion statement. People don't get it. No. It's our culture.
Yes.
Dudes were rocking dreads I'm talking Samson in the Bible, dude. Do your research. And the thing is, because they're so ignorant and they're so stereotypical and they think they know what it is without doing the research, this is why they put their foot in their mouth, man.
And you know what? And if you really do your research, you know that dreadlocks is not a Jamaican thing exclusively. There's civilizations all over Africa, the world.
Right?
Yeah. No, but the Icelandics rock dreads. That's part of their thing. Predator, from Alien versus Predator. Yo, he got the dreads and he's slaying all kinds of people.
Yo, what was that other movie, man? Yo, you want Pirates of the Caribbean's got dreadlocks. What you talking about?
Oh yeah, that kid. Oh, Davy Jones had locks.
What? Listen, man.
But I wanted to connect it. I wanted to connect it to school because we're starting to talk about schools and reopening, and then in the starting five, we're going to break down the top 5 things that every kid should learn about Black culture. If you don't know anything else about yourself or your people, you got to know these 5 things. So thank you for rocking with us. Black Fathers Matter.
We'll be right back.
All right. Welcome back to Black Fathers Matter. Every week we do this classic material where we pay respect to the culture with some lyrics that bring us back, or some sounds, music that bring us back to the old school. So Roy, it's your classic material, brother. What do you got?
This week I was thinking about like the best intros in the game, and we're gonna do a starting 5 of that down the road.
Ooh.
But I was thinking, I was listening to like the Joe Budden's album, and he had the intro was fire, and then I was like, wait a minute. You know who had the sickest intro? That was Jay-Z off the Dynasty album. So there's a part, I'm not going to sing the whole song, but it's off the Dynasty intro. There's a part that he says, which always speaks to me, right? And it says, only Psalms I read was on the arms of my niggas. Tattoo, so I carry on like I'm non-religious. Clap whoever stands between Sean and figures. You know what I'm saying? But that whole intro, it bleeds the struggle and Black excellence. That's what I'm saying. I love that.
What I love most about early Jay-Z is there was a lot of cat. Jay-Z by no means was not the only cat talking about the drug game. No. But he was really good at, and maybe the best at, is connecting the drug game to his aspiration to leave the game.
He used the drug game to motivate.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that transition happened because by the time he was making like the Black album, he was done with it. He's like, yo, for sure. I'm old now. I got Basquiat's on my wall. I got no time to be still.
Exactly.
There's nothing worse than like a cat that's like 10 albums in and he's still talking about moving weight. Well,
do you know the crazy? So the crazy thing about that verse that I read to you, only Psalms I read was on the arms of my niggas. Tattoo, so I carry on like I'm non-religious. That's dope to me because I was reading this thing about how in the prison system, there's not a lot of Bibles there, right? So what cats would do is they would go to the library, and unless a fan, like a loved one, would send them a Bible or give them a Bible, but usually they get jacked, right? So in the library, you may have one Bible. So a lot of dudes would take turns going there, and they would write down the scriptures, and then they would go get it tatted, so they don't have to keep going back. So if you notice, a lot of jail cats would get scriptures tatted on their body so they can read it. You know what I'm saying? At their own time. So that spoke to me because that was dope, man. You know what? Like, we got to get more Bibles out those ways, man, because you know what I mean? Cats trying to do the right thing, and they shouldn't have to live like that. But you know what I mean?
No, it's true. It's true.
Put in that time when you do that crime.
So we're gonna come right back. We're gonna talk about returning to school. There's many of us in the next week or two will their kids will be going back to school, and the question is that we're gonna break down is should you be sending your kids back to school? We'll be right back. Black Fathers Matter.
That's right. Yo, welcome back to Black Fathers Matter.
Well, the school thing, now that we're in the kind of third wave and we're getting very close to September for some provinces, some states, kids go back to school at the end of August. Right. So we're all starting to think about whether or not kids are going to go back to school, and if so, how you can send your kids back to school so that they're safe and that we're not going to be spreading this virus. But before I ask you that, I want to ask you a question. Do you think your kids learned anything during like the remote learning period, like before the end of school?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
We tried teaching them that, it's different type of learning, man. I know how my daughter is. She needs to be around people who are also learning. Sitting just sitting in front of a laptop ain't going to do it. Like she's going to learn it, but it's not going to stay. She's going to forget it. And that's what we have right now.
It's the kind, there's a reason why there are schools, why there's a building.
Right.
There's a reason why there are offices, right? That it takes you away from the struggle of your daily life and brings you someplace where you can do what you need to do. Well, and so, yes, I'm sure our kids learned something
It's not
during
the same,
remote
though.
learning.
How much work you do when you're remote at home as an adult, right? All these people who go to work from 9 to 5, now they're remotely working from home. How much work are you getting done?
You know how much laundry, how tight my laundry game is right now?
Mm-hmm.
No, everything is pressed and folded immediately. Like I'd be like, oh, I took off these underwear, gotta do laundry. Like because when you're home, like I've often had jobs like you where you didn't have an office.
Right.
And I still would get up every day and go to a Tim's or go to Starbucks, and I would work there because I needed to be away from the physical space and in a space where I could focus on the shit I needed to do. Here, I'm focused on the stuff that needs to be done around my house.
That's right.
Right.
And so if you're struggling with that, imagine kids.
Exactly.
They need to be in a classroom.
Right. There's something about getting dressed, washing your teeth, putting on deodorant, putting on clothes. Like most days, my kids were doing remote learning in their pajamas.
Yeah.
There's something about that process that is super important for learning. And so
it teaches them structure, though.
Yes.
So when you're doing it from home, there's no structure. You just in your PJs, you know what I mean, whether you brush your teeth or not, it is what it is. You eat, you know what I mean? So that's the struggle. And now I'm with you on that with the whole structure thing, because that is very vital building character with kids, man.
Yeah. And my oldest son said to me, he's like, yo, you know what? I would, cause I was like, yo, so you want to go back? You ready to go back? And my oldest son loves school, loves it. He's super smart. He's super into it. He's got a lot of friends. He is the perfect kid for school.
Yeah.
And even he was like, you know what? I don't feel the need to go back to school. You know what? I would rather them just give me the work. Give me the work. Right. Let me do it. You check it. And then we keep pushing. And you know, the crazy thing that he said that is that's what I was like. When I was a student, and I'm the complete opposite now. I used to be the kid that was like, yo, give me all the work. I'm going to do it all. When I was in university, I would do all my schoolwork on Monday.
Right.
So that Tuesday to Friday, I was chilling.
No, I feel you on that. In high school, it was like that too. You know what I mean? I would be like, yo, give me all my homework and I'll see y'all next week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll be in the cafeteria. I'll be kicking it, doing my thing, but I'll come back and boom, drop it all right there.
Right. So that's just not how you learn, right?
No,
and not. So the other part of that though is so remote learning kind of sucked, but at the same time, I don't want to send my kid back to school because
here's the thing, man. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you go.
I was gonna say, man, I've been looking at schools with the same eyes or the shades I'd be looking at jail systems, the institutionalization of that. Like, you know, I've been reading into that. I'm like, yo, you know, they have a bell that goes off. Kids are like, oh, it's recess. They go out there and play, like dudes in the yard. The bell goes off again. Oh, we got to run back in. You know what I mean? Those bells, bro, these are things that have been passed down where it's like they're training these kids from young. You know what I'm saying? So in a way, I agree with that, but it's like, yo, I still look at schools like this is like the PG, you know, prison system.
Oh man, you on some crazy.
I'm on some next stuff right now. That's on
some black liberation,
institutionalization. You know what I mean? But no. In North America, it's different, right? Like I'm saying, dudes back in Africa, dudes back home countries, they homeschooling their kids, right? It's either you homeschool, you go into some private school where it's like it's mad structure. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why they homeschool and what they did, like, you know, when they do the stats and stuff, these kids are homeschooled. Not every kid can be homeschooled.
Right.
Yeah, but there are kids who are homeschooled who would do grade up to grade 11 and they can jump right into university.
Right.
But then there's other kids who go up to grade 11 and then they go to and then they're backlogged. Like they still haven't learned as much. So it takes the right parent, it takes the right tutor. You know what I mean? It's so much stuff, G.
But it also takes the right kid. Not every kid is built the same way. Not every kid learns the same way. So you can't just say, look. So yes, my older son he would be perfect for remote learning. He would learn a lot. He would get all his stuff done, and it would be dope. My youngest son, he needs someone to tell him to do the shit. He doesn't want to do any of it. If it was up to him, he would get his GED right now.
For sure.
He just hates school, right?
Right.
He's a good kid,
that's crazy.
Smart kid. He just doesn't. He just does not fucks with school.
Yeah, he's focused, and it's kind of like because my nieces and nephews, man, they've been homeschooled for all their lives, bro. Like my oldest nephew, he's only been in school like 3 years of his life, like actual school. Same thing with my niece, but they've all been homeschooled. You know what I mean? Ever since they were mad young. And when they got into school, we were kind of like, yo, how are they going to, maintain and stuff? But they were actually, they blended in, you know what I mean? Especially their social like that. Okay. And as far as the academics, it was par B. Now, my daughter wouldn't homeschool. My kids wouldn't homeschool because they need to be out there. They learn in that social environment. They're fueled and motivated by other kids who are also struggling with the same thing. They get to learn with them, and you know what I mean? They find power in that.
But that's learning. That's knowing that's knowing who your kids are and building a plan around who your kids are. Instead of saying, "Look, it's a one-size-fits-all thing," and I'm just going to do the same thing for everybody. Let me ask you, like, connecting is back to coronavirus. Right? Are you worried about the potential of an outbreak when we reopen? What I worry about most, honestly, is. You send these teachers to school, you send these kids to school, they're getting tested, they're getting checked out, and everything's good. But then they get home and they're around their moms and their dads and their grandparents and your crazy cousin Larry and all the people that's
Uncle
in
Junebug
their life
be showing up,
Uncle Junebug be showing up with pork rinds and all of these people that's in their lives, and then they go back to school. So even though it's nice and safe and dope.
No, that scares me, man.
That's the scary part.
I'm afraid of the health aspect of it. You know what I mean? But so it's just like we just got to keep filling our kids with all the vitamins and everything they need to boost and keep that immune system strong, because that does scare me, man.
Yeah.
I don't think they're ready, but hey.
Yeah, what we need is we need someone, we need a doctor to come up and give us like the coronavirus medical plan on the vitamins that we need to take to build our kids up so that they won't survive.
Give us a starting pack. That's right.
Yeah, I worry about this the kids go back to a month. And then this virus is like so out of control that we really shutting everything down. That's my biggest worry.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that, man. We got to be optimistic and hope for the best. So we hope that we can overcome this, like we've overcome a lot of things as a culture, as a people. You know what I mean? So
and that's the super important point, because disproportionately the shit is happening to us.
Oh, for sure.
And it's the black and brown people.
We the target right now.
Black and brown people, they got to send their kids to school, because it's a difference between sending their kids to school. It's another black tax. You're going to send your kids to school because you got no choice, because you got to work. And
you can't afford daycare.
And you can't afford daycare. So you're doing what you got to do so that you could go back to school and get that paper. Meanwhile, you're putting your kid and your family in the harm of the virus.
It's a double whammy, man. You can't win off that.
Can't win.
I mean? It's a lose-lose situation. So
yeah, man, everybody really, this is where people really got to do their research. They really got to understand what's happening in their neck of the woods. Look at don't listen to what's happening at the federal government. That means don't listen to Trump. Don't listen to Trudeau. You got to look at what's happening both provincially, and then you need to do the research on your local school board districts and understand what those rules are. And if those rules don't feel right to you, don't send your kids back to school.
No, that's right. Don't listen to those dudes, man. Don't listen to Trump, Trudeau, none of them guys. If you're from the hood, listen to Kendrick Lamar and Jay-Z. But you know what? I'm with you on that, man. You can't, you know what I mean? You got to keep it safe, and you got to make sure you protect your family too.
No doubt. So we're going to take a black break. We're going to be right back. We're going to answer some questions from Help a Brother Out. This is Black Fathers Matter. Thank you for rocking with us. Be right back. All right, everyone. Welcome back to Black Fathers Matter. We're going to do our segment Help a Brother Out, where we get some questions from the people. Roy unfortunately got some whack ass computer, probably
Wi-Fi be acting up,
built in 1912s. So I'm gonna do
the first joint ever made.
He got the
son.
first, he got the Mac Baby 1, something like that. So I'm gonna read all the questions, and then we'll just do our usual thing. This first question actually is for you. So hello, Black Fathers Matter. I have 2 daughters who are now living with me full time. I know Roy has 2 girls. What are his tips for doing the hair of his daughters?
Ooh, okay.
And this is super hot in the culture right now.
It is hot in the culture. It is hot
because there was that amazing video with a father doing the hair of his daughters, and this is probably one of the things that is like universal amongst no matter what color
this is
you
grown.
are.
It's grown in the last 10 years. I'll put it out like that. You know what I mean? Because most single fathers had black daughters, man. You could tell. Them kids who come to school, their hair's all jacked up. He be doing their hair all messed up. But in the last 10 years, men have been stepping it up. I've been doing my daughter's hair. Like my oldest is gonna be 18, my youngest is 11. With my oldest, man, my wife used to work, so she would leave earlier. So I was the one in charge of doing her hair, which I was cool with. So I learned to do her hair. So what I would do is just, wet it up with some conditioner, brush it out, put it in a nice slick bun. But when they got older, when my oldest would reach like 11, she's like, no, I got this.
Yeah,
back up off me, pops. You know what I mean?
You could always tell.
Or she would get moms to do her hair the night before. So then, if moms is able to do it, then she's looking nice. But I'm saying the off days, I would always do her hair. You know what I mean? And she looked good. She looked good with it. But it was always the same style: slick back, ponytail, got the bun. Keep it simple.
That's classic. One of the greatest gifts I've been given as a father is that I was given sons.
Right.
Because I would be terrified if I had to do a woman's hair every day. So, shout outs to you I know you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do it. I used to, I even learned to braid, man. So I just do a quick braid, send them to school. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
but you should be comfortable with that because you got that. You got that yaki built in, that African mixed race Indian hair.
Exactly. So I've been definitely comfortable with that, and my background's also hair and all that stuff too. So
true.
I kind of learned a lot of things for that, and I used it for that.
Okay, so here's the next question. This must be more a question for me. Salutes Black Fathers Matter. I have mixed race girls, and I was wondering what you are saying to your kids about the protests in the streets and what it means to be Black.
That's a good question, actually.
That's a good question.
I want to know the answer, bro. What are you saying to your kids?
That's a good question. So I got asked this question a couple of weeks after the protest started to begin, after George Floyd was killed. I was asked by my youngest son, just out of the blue, right? We were talking about lacrosse, we were talking about McDonald's, and then out of the blue, he's like, Dad, can I ask you a question? I was like, yeah, of course. And he's like, do I matter? I was like, yeah, son, of course. You matter to me.
Right.
And he's like, no, do I matter to everybody? I'm like, and so those are hard questions those are heavy questions to ask. And I think one of the things that this is where, and we talked about this earlier, where, for white folks who are distanced from this, we they're seeing it as just a protest. What they aren't always able to see is how exhausting this is.
Right.
How frustrating it is. How painful it is to have a conversation with your son about whether or not he matters at 9 years old. But
they ain't having those conversations with their son for sure.
But they don't have to. They don't have to, because we know they matter, because their privilege gives them the ability to matter. Right? We don't have that luxury. So, but to answer this question directly, Here's what I would say. You got to immerse your kids in all. Now, you said that your kids, the letter says that the kids are mixed race. I have mixed race kids as well. I can tell you that one of the things I'm trying to do, and it's become more important to me since this whole thing has started, is to immerse them in Black culture.
Right.
I want them to see Black movies. I want them to see Black TV. I want them to listen to Black music. We not listening in my house. We're not listening to no white artists.
Oh, for real?
And I'm not
Don't
saying
Amy
that
Winehouse bumping.
I'm not saying that as like
No,
a
Justin
I hate
Timberlake?
white people thing. Yeah, I love Justin Timberlake, B.
So you ain't gonna play him in your house, man?
What I'm saying is
I know
is
what
that,
you're saying. I think what you're trying to say is you're not gonna promote culture vultures to your kids.
No, what I'm saying is that everything around them is defining what it means for them to be white.
Now, is that because in the other house, like when they living with their moms, it's night and day? Is that why you're doing this?
No, it's just because we live in a place that's 90% white.
For sure. So that's why you're trying to overdose them on this blackness.
Yes, and that's what was done to me when I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
That's why we had Black Jesus. That's why we all
Shout out to Black Jesus, yo.
Every year, shout out to Black Jesus doing his thing, coming back. Black Jesus is back.
Yo, he got a six-pack back too.
Deezy. Black Jesus is Diesel right now. You looking like the cover of like a Zane book right now. So they get that. They get that in other places.
Right.
So I mean, what I'm saying sounds like I'm talking crazy, but I'm trying to communicate the fact that we have to overemphasize.
Yeah, but there ain't nothing wrong with that, because you know what? If you go into your Chinese homie's house, they doing it right there. They got Chinese stuff. They got the music. They got the incense. They got the little Buddha with the fruits around it. They're repping. So what's wrong with that? You go to Indian homie's house, you see all the, the pictures on the wall. You see Ganesh. You see all these cats too. They repping too. So why are we ashamed to rep? We gotta rep it. Be proud about it. You know what I'm saying?
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And it don't. I'm not saying. Here's the thing. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that they're watching like Eyes on the Prize and Roots and all of that. I'm not.
You're watching Life.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. But
Django and 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. But are they watching like Bebe's Kids? Are they watching The Boondocks? Are they watching Keela and the Bee? Are they Yes, that's what we gonna do.
Yo, if you got them on Boondocks, that's dope, though.
But tonight, you know what I said to them? We gonna watch E.T. That ain't black. That ain't black. So I'm not saying I'm like, yo, all black everything. But I'm saying that by giving them those nuggets, it will hopefully like get them seeing themselves. Oh, and then the one thing I'm absolutely doing every time I'm kicking it with them, I need to make sure that they get a little bit of like black food in them. And I don't mean like black food. I mean something that speaks to the culture.
Got some plantain, slide a little plantain, a little jerk chicken.
So tonight we making pizza. You can't define for them what it means to be black for them.
You can't.
They have to do that for themselves. You can introduce the love. You can introduce the culture. You can tell them the things from your perspective, and then they need to take that, just like we all need to. We all need to define what it means to be black, and there's no one thing. There's no one size fits all that says all black people do this, think this,
shades,
be this, listen to this. Man. No, take that out of your head.
It's crazy. It's dope because, like you said, man, I was talking to my next door neighbor. Yeah. And he's Somalian. Okay. Right. So we chopping it up, and he's telling me like the black history in Somalia. And it's just so, I'm hearing it. It's like rich African history, wealth. Yeah. Yeah. And it's so dope, but it's so different from the blackness I know.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
And it shows you that, you know what I mean? Like all these different shades, all these different, you got dudes in Haiti. You know what I mean? The blacks in Haiti living different from the dudes in East Africa, West Africa, South Africa, dudes in Jamaica. But this is us, bro.
It's all
You know
love.
what I mean? It's all love, and that's important to show your kids those things, man. Give them try the different foods.
And I'm gonna wrap it up with this. That's what's so beautiful about Black is King, because it shows the whole diaspora. Whether you're a Black person from Haiti, it's one of the greatest words, right? If you're a Black person from Haiti, or you're a Black person from Quebec, or you're a Black person from Alaska, Sudan, we there's a through line that connects all of us if you look for it and if you feel it.
The bloodline is there. That's the reason why you walk into Nova Scotia and you see a Black dude and they just give you that nod. What up?
They give you that nod.
You know what I mean? So, they have a different accent, but we sense it. We're like,
one of the things that I love most. There's one line that I think, and I'm feeling this for myself right now. So it spoke to me so heavy. It was, and I hope I got it right, but what it was is we all have to come back to our Blackness.
Facts. Right.
And for me, I'm coming back. I didn't need Beyonce to tell me that, but I've been already trying to do that work for myself. And so I have to give the kids the path and then let them do their thing. So, yeah, so that, we're going to take a black break, but remember, if you have any questions for us, throw them at bfm@catchafire.com. You can DM us on BLK, IG, and
BLK
then
Fathers Matters.
We're gonna take a black break, come back, and we're gonna do the starting five.
Yo, welcome back to Black Fathers Matter. Welcome Black to Black Fathers Matter.
No doubt.
We right now in the top starting five segment. So this week we're gonna be talking about the top 5 things our kids should know about the culture. All right, so we're gonna start it off right now. I'm gonna swing it over to Ralph so we can, go ahead and let me hear what your number 1, or do you want to start from 5 to 1 or 1 to 5? What you want to do?
You know what? I gotta tell you, man, I don't even put my list like that because I don't know what you're gonna come up with.
All right, we'll just go with it.
I just put out the things and then it figured out.
So drop it, however, and then let the viewers pick and choose who killing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like we were talking earlier about what things that our kids should learn and what that means for you Black. So we're gonna just break down these things, and as we do when we do the starting 5, if one of us picks it, it's off the board, so the other person can't.
All right, you know what, man? I'm gonna take that back then. I'm gonna start this off.
All right,
because I know you sneaky like that. So
the
first thing that you need to teach your Black children about is Barack Obama, the first Black president. There's no reason, if you have a Black kid or a half interracial, whatever, they need to know this. If they don't know Barack Obama and how he was the first Black president and what that meant for us as a people, then you hustling backwards. You need to start teaching the kids the right things.
Facts. Okay.
All right, so that's my number 1. What you got?
So my number 1 is the Middle Passage. Okay. So we said last week, like, if you had to think about all the things that's wrong with Black people and you had to put it into one thing, what is it? And we both agreed that it was slavery. So you need to understand that how we got here in the first place. Right. And that hundreds of thousands of our people didn't even get here. And that it was one giant bait and switch. And so if you want to understand anything about the way you are perceived in the rest of the world and in North America, you have to start with slavery. Most of them died from like starvation. They were packed in so tight. There was lack of oxygen. Like most people died because they just didn't have resources, right? They packed them in and was just like, fuck it, we don't care about them. We're going to make them slaves. So why we need to give them food and water?
What kind of cruise is that, homie? What kind of cruise is that?
The SSS fucked up. Yeah. So what's your second one?
My second one right now, because I'm a big music guy and I love music, and I think it's very important to teach your kids music. So I would say your children need to know about Jackson 5 and MJ. I'm talking about Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So now, because we have different age groups that's rocking with us, a lot of the OG guys will know who the Jackson 5s are. I grew up watching Jackson 5. You know what I mean? Your kid needs to know about the music. And yeah, you know what though? That's a gateway drug if you look at it. Because you get them on MJ, you get them on that, Jackson 5s, everybody else is in that.
Okay.
Just teach your kid good music, bro.
Okay, that's fine. I'll let it slide. All right. So I'll keep mine on the music thing. And I'm going to say they got to know about hip hop.
Of course. Oh, they have to know about hip hop.
And I specifically mean not hip hop today, because hip hop today is whatever I don't even recognize it some of the times.
Right.
I want them to know about hip hop from 1985 to 1995. Because hip hop before that was controlled often by people that didn't look like us.
Right.
And there was definitely Sylvia Robinson, who was owned the label that the Sugar Hill Gang was on. So there's some of that. There was people that looked like us that was in the game behind the scenes. I'm talking about.
For sure.
But in the late 80s, early 90s, you got Bad Boy, Rockefeller, you got Rap a Lot, you got No Limit, you got all of these brothers that were like, you know what? We're gonna run the business from behind the scenes as well as in front of the scenes. So
and that's so crazy, man. Because that was yeah.
But then you also get the combination of, we still had that ratchet shit and dance music, but then you also have the wokeness of Tribe and PE and
the
so
Mos Defs, the Talib Kweli's, like yo.
So that's my joint. 85 to 95 specifically, history of hip hop. What's your number 3?
That's dope. My number 3 is in a world where we live, man, where there's so much colorism and racism going on, man, I think you need to teach your kids to love their skin, love their hair, love their features, man.
Okay.
Because, and here's the reason why I'm saying this, because a lot of our kids, and you would agree with me on this, they're on TikTok, they're on a lot of, YouTubers, they're watching. So they idolize these people.
Right.
And 9 out of 10 times, they're not watching, they're not watching like the black people.
Well, because they don't exist.
Right. So like my daughter could be on TikTok and she'd be watching. There's a bunch of girls. They could be like, Indian, Italian, whatever. But she's looking at it and she's like, hey, man, hey, Dad, I want to get my hair like this. I want to, and so I got to keep talking to her and educating her that, this is who you are. This is not just, you know what I mean? Like, you got to love your melanin. You got to love your black skin. And understand that everybody's different. Don't look at someone and say, I want to be like that. And you know what? It's messed up because when we were growing up, I'm sure, like, I remember I have black friends who were like, man, I wish I was white. I wish I had my hair falling down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's messed up, but at the same time, it's like, this is what was shown as cool, right? Everybody's watching shows where you got those things. So that's why it's important, man, to teach them that stuff. So
it's so interesting because for me, when I was young, because I'm a little bit much older than you, I came in, into my consciousness at the tail end of the Black is Beautiful movement. Right?
So you were rocking perms?
Black is beautiful, free you where I wanna be. Free, so that Black Panther, that Black Panther joint, right? So where you were, where it really was about loving your skin, loving your culture, loving yourself. Yeah. And I feel like we're so far away from that. We moved so far away from that. We embrace. I feel like in the 80s, there were so many people that were ashamed. They were ashamed of their skin.
Yes.
They were not only were they ashamed of their skin, but then that's when you. I hate to say this, and that's when, bro. But that's when that's when our greatest legends in the game in the 80s. They was on that white woman thing.
Right.
Because it was
that perm, the white one.
It was greatest. It was the best way. Like if you were a black guy and you were dating a white girl in the 80s, you made it. You crossed the burning sands into acceptance. And what
I thought about that. Yeah, man, that's crazy though. Like, why do they say that? What do you mean you made it? Like, what a black guy should never. It's just it's like, okay, Emmett Till. Like Emmett Till looked at a woman and he got killed. You know what I mean, murdered or whatnot. So now you saying that because we had a point on our life that we can look at a woman and not a white woman and not that and potentially be married to her.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah, break it down for me, bro.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Tell us all why.
Because you know what's the most important thing that black people want more than any money,
acceptance,
fame. Yo, we just want acceptance.
Right.
We spend so much of our lives, so much time focused on having white people like us.
Right.
That we forget that at the end of the day,
like ourselves,
we marry, we do all kinds of crazy things, and guess what? We fail to remember. We fail to remember, and what OJ had to go through to remember. Yo, there's a lot of people, don't care how much money you have, how many white wives you have, they look at you and you still a nigga. So my number three are the pyramids of Giza and the pharaohs, because we have to we have to remember that long before we came here, yo, we built civilizations.
Mm-hmm.
We built. I mean, that's like
the original Freemasons were the black people in Egypt, man, building pyramids.
So let that sink in. That honestly is if you remember that, when you hear people say, call us all kinds of things out of our name today, you remember connected to kings and history, and you can brush all of that off. So
that's right.
I'm
that's your number
remember
3.
your history about the pharaohs. And all the great things we did back in the day.
Right,
so what's your number 4?
Yo, my number 4 is kind of similar to what you're doing, but instead of the history, mine is more of culture. Like your kids need to understand black culture. Now, I'm not saying they need to just understand that one side of it, because black culture comes in different looks. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And your kids need to be open to the point where you can take them and go have some Ethiopian food. You can take them and go have some West Indian food, some Jamaican food. They need to be open to those things. They need to understand the culture with the music that comes with it, whether it's reggae music, whether it's calypso, soca. These are all originated in that culture. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's from Trinidad, Africa, Jamaica, they need to be exposed to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And and the reason why I'm saying this is because my parents didn't really expose me to that, because they come from the era where, you know what I mean? Let's try to make these whites comfortable. We're not going to go out there. We're not going to, you know what I'm saying? So when I grew out of that, I was like, yo, I got to show my kids these things. Because when I was like 17, 18, learning about it, I was like, what? Man, I wish I knew. You know what I mean? I wish I knew this before. So that's important, man. Culture.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So what you got? What's your number 4 right there?
My number 4 is the Underground Railroad. So, So, I mean, of course, much respect to Harriet Tubman, and she was certainly one of the leaders of that movement. But there were lots of black folks that had to have the courage to go through the process, that had to be led by Harriet Tubman. And here's one thing that is super important that we sometimes fail to remember. The Underground Railroad could not be possible if there were not white folks on the other end of that railroad helping churches, community organizations, that when these black folks came out of the railroad and they needed a safe harbor, they needed a place to land, there were good, well-meaning, respectful white folks that were like, I see you, I hear you, and I'm going to help you.
You don't deserve to be living like that. You don't deserve to be in slavery. We got you.
All throughout Canada, lots in Quebec, there are these places that were deposits for the Underground Railroad on the other side.
That's right.
So I think it's a great way to see how when that good people of conscience can do great things. And I hope that when you think about what's happening in the Black Lives Matter movement right now, that's what's happening, is that white people are looking at that and going, yo, we need to be allies with these black folks in the street, and we need more of them. So that's my number 4.
Pull up.
What's your last one?
So my number 5 is really important, and we talked about this a little bit earlier. You know, I got daughters, so what my biggest thing to teach them was black hair is beautiful. That is a huge thing, because I've had my daughters come home and they're crying because, someone said something about their hair and they wish their hair was straight like Emily's, or, you know, this and that. And then we got to go to the salon so we can get it popping. And you know what I'm saying? So that was a huge thing that we had to teach our kids so they understand that. And you know what, man? My parents never taught me that piece. They were always like, look presentable. Dude, could I come out with dreadlocks looking like Jay? No, because I had to look a specific way to keep these people comfortable. And I wanted to end that cycle with my kids. So I kept teaching them, yo, you got your hair out puffy, you look beautiful. Got your hair out, you know what I mean? You got your hair in braids, whatever. I love it. It's beautiful. That's what it is. You know what I mean? So that is definitely a huge thing. And I know you got sons, and with the Justin Biebers running around the streets, your son, I'm sure your son came to you and said, yo, Pops, how come my hair doesn't, do the Bieber thing, drop over my face? Can I, But these are the things that these kids are going to think about.
Yeah, so definitely. I haven't had.
You haven't had that. Okay, well, that's good.
I've been fortunate.
That's good. But you know what? You still got some time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So my last one is the "I Have a Dream" speech.
Oh, that is a classic.
Now, actually, I'm gonna pull it back. It's not the speech. It's the whole march on. It's the whole march on Washington. It's because the day of the march. The crazy thing. It's the one thing that most people don't remember about the "I Have a Dream" speech.
What's that, G?
He wasn't supposed to do it.
Yo, it was improvised. Right?
And that was off the dome. He did it off the dome.
Yeah, he improvised the whole thing. And it's like the most iconic, legendary freestyle speech. This is like Jay before Jay's time.
Yo, so for people that don't remember, he's doing his thing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. He's saying he had talked already. He was basically done.
Yeah.
Right. And the legendary gospel singer, shout out to Mahalia Jackson, screams at him from the stage, yo, tell him about the dream. That's how that whole shit starts.
That's how it started.
Tell him about the dream, Martin. And he just goes in.
I have a dream.
And boom. Could you imagine?
Imagine if she didn't yell that out. We would not even be talking about this right now.
Yo. This guy is so young to have the poise to stand up, to build this thing. Yeah, right. 250 Americans, black, brown, white, they all showed up, and he gets and there's fire speech after fire speech and singing and rejoicing and prayers. This thing is all day, right? And then he gets up. John Lewis killed it. And then he gets up, he does his thing. And just like, it's just, I urge people not just to listen to the speech. I urge people, like, I'm sure it's on YouTube, to watch the whole day or watch segments from the whole day, because you really see the history. You see history in the making, because you see young cats, you see the old heads, which Martin was not Martin was a young cat, right?
Yeah.
So you see the old heads doing their thing, and then you see, Martin leading it to the next generation. So to me is the most important, honestly, the most important, certainly moment in our current culture, because everything that every movement since then, what's happening in the street right now is all a direct result of the light of the the mark that Dr. King set in that speech. Right. We still striving for all the shit he said in that speech.
Yeah, he set the bar, dude. We have to we're trying to get there.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
But yo, there you have it, man. That's a starting top five right there, man. And yo, we can sit on here all day because we got people like Rosa Parks. We got people like Nelson Mandela. The list can go on and on and on if we really dig into it.
Yeah.
But you know, this is these things that we talked about. These are important. Your kids got to know these things about the culture, about themselves, about their people, the people that came in and fought for them so we can be living in a world which is still filled with racism. But hey, you know, maybe we just hope for the best, right?
Sometimes we forget, though. And the reason why these are important is because sometimes we, as you said, right? Sometimes we listen to what is coming back at us.
Yeah.
And we think we're not beautiful. We think we're not talented. We
Right.
think we're not intelligent. And we think we've never done anything.
Right.
And when you take a step back and look at the joy that we have and the language and the culture that we've created, you know that everything that people say, the others say about us is all bullshit.
It
right?
is.
And that's super duper.
They're trying to brainwash us, son.
Yeah.
They want us to forget that we come from royalty. They want us to forget that we were kings. They want us to forget these things.
No
you know what I'm saying? But that ain't gonna happen no more, yo. Y'all need to wake up. Everybody gotta wake up, stay woke. Black fathers matter. We in the building.
Yeah.
2 black dads trying to change the world. You dig?